what I was saying is there's too much blackness right here at where your face is. So
I got you.
Welcome to our last show.
yeah. So anyway, our last show, the FCC is going to, them and CNN will be all over us. But anyhow, those white supremacists, they're two tokens. But anyway, we're not white supremacists by any means. We're a bunch of funny dudes that just sit around and drink bourbon and talk smack to each other. But anyway, hey guys, Jody, the Whiskey Rebellion Barcast. These are all of our people. This is our world. We're having a good time. It always starts with shenanigans. It always ends with shenanigans. We always have a topic and we always seem to bypass most of it and go straight to shenanigans. So I'm going to tell you we have a topic. I'm going to tell you we're going to try to stay on point about it. And I'm going to tell you that we'll probably end up at shenanigans 2.5 seconds into topic. So just realize that and set your expectations, but we always have a good time. So guys, with that all being said, Miles' favorite phrase, cheers. Everybody welcome to the show.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, brother.
So tonight I'm hoping we'll talk about those 3 bourbons. And I'll be completely transparent with this. I was watching the Bourbon Junkies and they were talking about 5 bourbons you absolutely need to stay away from. And I can't say I agree with everything that they said. I agreed with 3 of their picks, of their 5. I would absolutely steer people to go watch them. They're actually pretty funny and I enjoy their show. So I don't want to tell you what they picked. I'd rather you go and maybe I can embed the link to that page onto ours and they can, people can watch it. So they had some interesting picks. So I don't want to take full credit for what the reason why we're using this topic, because it kind of morphed from there. I was like, you know what, that's a great idea. Because that should be different no matter whom you are, where you're at, what geographical location you're at, what you grew up drinking. Like you guys know, I'm going to pick Jack Daniels as one of mine. So of any of their choices. So it is what it is. Anyhow, Melvin, first time person on the show, allegedly knows John. And for the people watching the show, know that he's sometimes referred to as Tom Cruise by both Billy and Mark. Not really sure why. But anyhow, Melvin, welcome to the show. What are you drinking? And how do you know John? Chattanooga whiskey. I like that. Is it the 114?
Yep, 111.
111, okay.
Yep.
I have my glasses on. I just can't see.
That's all right. This is funny. I just met John last Friday. So
and then he bailed on you first night.
Oh, yeah, but we have a mutual group that we drink with is Music City Bourbon.
Oh, I'm in that too.
Yep. So I'm an active member there. But John, I talked with John and John says, hey guy, if you really enjoy being with some active people that love to drink, chit chat, or very into the bourbon market, you need to get hooked up with this group. So here I am.
Cool. I'm glad you're here, man. See, that's it. And I'm a member of that page too. I was not part of their pick for the what is it? The not Heaven's Door select pick that they had. I went ahead and paid for it just because I want to contribute to the group. I don't want to be that guy, but they are I guess a fledgling group that is growing. That's pretty small. That's getting larger every day, kind of like us. And I like them. They're a great group of guys. Just make sure when you do the whole Venmo thing, you do it correctly under that guy's name. You know what I'm talking about, Melvin, because he posted all the time.
Hey, yeah. I guess to hear you, do I have to choose my words carefully?
You say what you want, man. Just realize we're recording this and it goes on every page.
Yeah.
But we're not going to knock you.
If that's ever stopped us.
Yeah. So anyway, White Mark, how you doing, man? Welcome to the show. Well, that's how the other guys referred to you, but it was in the after show.
I need to change my name. I'm gonna do that.
It doesn't
I'm doing
matter.
well.
The viewers can't see your name.
No, but we internally would know.
Yeah, I used to put Jack
It's
Frost all
important
the
that
time.
those names are up because there's another Mark on the show, and I don't want people confusing us.
There you go.
That's a word to your mother moment.
Oh,
I've been wanting to use that all day, man. Word to your mother. My son decided he was getting a perm. And so I've been calling him Big Perm throughout the house. I mean, that's all I do is just call him Big Perm. I mean,
You're gonna have to show us a picture. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
we
I'm
need to
on it.
see that.
I'm on it. I can make
So
it
when
happen.
when the show airs, like it'll,
In the meantime, I
What you
got a
got there?
fresh bottle of Buffalo Trace,
there you go.
the OG. And I went on a little bit of a Buffalo Trail trip with my wife this weekend, and we went into Kentucky for Thursday night, spent all day Friday hopping around, went to the new Castle and Key distillery there, and got in on their last single barrel release of their Slow Hands bourbon, and got a bottle for the Godfather. And
The Godfather or for me?
are you not the Godfather?
I'm not the Godfather.
Yeah.
Chuck is the Godfather.
Chuck is the Godfather.
Oh,
We're gonna have to
Chuck-
get on.
Chuck
We're gonna have to
got
get on
his
this with the
hopes up.
nicknames.
They're like, "Woo!"
That's what I thought at first.
He's like, yeah, on it.
Yes.
And then White Martin never comes through. But hey, I will send you samples for sure.
Oh, there you go. Yep. And
But anyway, I'm the commissioner.
commissioner. Sorry,
It's so close. I'm with
that's what I
you.
meant. Anyway,
Uh, Cool. So anyway, the other Marky Mark, what you have it?
What's up, guys?
Hey, can you
Still
step
kinda
back
dark
about
here.
40 yards so we can see you next to that palm tree?
Yeah, I'm gonna move back in a second. I am sipping Woodford Double Oaked. Can you see it?
We can. I recognize
Brother.
the bottle.
Not quite a Russo pour. Not quite a Russo pour, but it was a heavy one. It's been sipping on it for a minute. So, but yeah, nice long. They had meetings. Snoopy and I are kind of hangry, so I'm gonna eat as soon as we're finished.
Yeah, well, it's
See what
only
brothers.
what 4 o'clock there, right? No, 5 o'clock.
Yep.
Yes.
Shit, I don't know, 5, 4, 7.
Whatever.
Okay. Anyhow, Rob, how you doing, man? Welcome to the show. What do you have it?
Doing good. I'm sipping on a little Wilderness Trail bourbon, bottled in bond. Very nice pour tonight. Just cracked that bottle open. Very
Today?
tasty. Yeah.
Hold that bottle back up. Anybody else notice that? It's more than a single pour.
I had a pour before I started, man. I had a
Hey, look,
pour
we're a
with-
bunch of drinkers around here. We don't got to make each other defensive, all right?
Yeah. Damn.
Rob, you do you, man.
Hey,
what show is this?
it's
Oh,
okay
this-
if you're not
oh, the
judgmental. I may
drinking,
be.
My bad.
Anyway,
It's okay.
so you're having
Been
some
all
Wilderness
day.
Trail. Is it the straight bourbon or the rye? I couldn't see it. That's the reason why I
It's
asked.
the straight bourbon.
So that means it's a minimum what 9 years?
It's
Is that right?
It's bottled in bond. It's a minimum
Oh,
4 years.
4 year. Okay, cool, nice.
4 year 100 proof.
Love the shirt, by the way. Hey, what's shitty got in him today?
Old Shitty's empty.
That's right.
I haven't been moving Old Shitty around because I got my own little
You know
bar
you're under
thing.
contractual agreements to have oh shitty fool and have something to speak about each week with him. Twice weekly.
It's different when I'm living in an apartment and not in a hotel room. You know what I mean?
Just saying, we need to work on that.
I'll work on it. I'll try.
Cool deal. David, welcome to the show, man. Are you feeling any
Hey,
better?
thanks.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing better. Getting around, walking a little bit more. Just slow recovery, trying to get to like a work from home situation. That's not been worked out with my employer yet, but steady on. So I'm doing okay. Tonight I'm drinking also the Woodford Double Oaked. This one is a store pick though. And I don't have anything to compare it to because I don't know if I've had double oaked or at least not in a very long time. Don't say, yeah, I know I've had everything in the world at your place, but stop because at some point he's going to start making it up. He's going to say, I'm going to say, oh, I've never had this and some wild unicorn thing I've definitely never had. He's like, dude, you've had that at my place. And I'm going to feel bad. And you're like, yeah, I probably did. And I'll be completely wrong. And
Wait a minute. Do you doubt that you've had that at my home? What if I went downstairs right now and got the bottle?
Just because you have it doesn't mean I've had it there.
Every time you come over here, how long do you stay? Is it just for the show or is it
No,
3.5 hours?
I'm usually there
afterwards?
for a while and it's been a number of years of doing it. Anyway,
And I
this
have
store
a very
pick is
large
really
collection.
good.
So
Yes,
yeah.
you
and
have
I
an-
and
you
I
have an
and I
amazing
don't
large collection.
have and I don't have a store pick. So that would be something that I could say
Yes.
that I've never
So
tried.
the thing that stands out with this, and maybe you can tell me the difference. that I get an incredible smoky flavor with it. Like it's smoky, almost a mesquite kind of thing. It's like Long Branch on steroids almost. When you get that smoky mesquite kind of taste, a nice oakiness that comes through with it. It's really, really fantastic. Very glad I picked it up. So if
Now we
once
actually
I
know
get
where
back
he
on the
was
road,
referring to when he said Snoopy. I was like, I have no idea what the hell he's talking about.
I saw
He
the
says-
Snoopy on the shape.
Yeah,
I did
saw the
not see it,
Snoopy.
but I do see it now.
There he is, Mark. There you go.
And they are hangers.
Yes.
Cool deal. Cool deal.
Yes.
Billy,
Yes.
welcome to the show, man.
Welcome, gentlemen. I hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's hanging in there. Tonight, I am finishing off, sadly, from the Godfather himself, the Old Carter 13 year. It is really tasty, and I'm actually enjoying it more. I don't know why, but it seems like, I don't know, it tastes better than it did our last show. And this is about all I got left. So sadly, but it's very, very, very good. And then after that, Mark is going to have to tell me what these samples are, because I feel like I need to get into those.
Oh,
Billy,
we posted in the group. I would say do those later.
be together.
You don't want to do
Jody,
those
don't
on
do
the
it,
show.
Jody. Don't do it, Jody.
I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to tell you, don't do those on the show.
Godfather, get him. Get him, Godfather.
So what I'll do is, for my second pour, my lovely wife got some Bardstown, and I enjoyed that quite
Which flavor?
well. I don't know. I have to look at the bottles over in the kitchen. But it is very, very, very good.
So I like the Bardstown line as well, like the Fusion series that I know that Rob doesn't like. I personally do like, because I like the interesting complexities that it has with it, the different taste. And then anyway, so yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about that here shortly, because it could potentially be in his bottom three. You were,
Actually,
that's right.
I was at Bardstown yesterday. I picked up a bottle of their Fusion and a bottle of the Poison. Is it the wine, the one they finished out in a wine barrel?
Yeah,
Yep, there you
Yeah.
go.
Yep.
That's it, Billy.
that's the number 4.
I'm not sure how to tell what number it is.
Look on the back of it.
I see a diagram which reminds me of Heaven's Door a little bit. Let me see. It is the number 3.
Oh, number
No.
3.
It is Fusion Series number 3.
But you can't. That's a good drink. Good pour.
Yeah. I agree with you. I like it. I like it a lot.
The prisoner series, Melvin, is the one you're talking about with the wine,
Yeah.
cask
That-
finish.
That's it. I got a bottle
Did you pick up a bottle of that, Mark? Other
No,
Mark?
I didn't. I got a bottle of Calumet, and I got the Fusion number 4.
Yeah.
I-
Fusion
And
is
their partner brands. Yeah.
I do have a quick question. My local store that I go to and have developed a great relationship, I got a call and she set aside for me the Caribou Crossing and the Old Forester Statesman, which I actually picked up a bottle the other day, and I said, you know what, I'll take another. So on average, what does Caribou Crossing go for?
Caribou. If you can find it, it should be about, the last time I bought it by the case. And I bought literally, I think 2 cases, which was 6 of them in there. I think they were $49 a bottle.
That's about right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And that was not with I was dealing with
Oh,
Tariq up
2
in
cases of that?
yeah.
Man.
I like it.
You
I'm
said,
sorry.
I know you do like it, but you probably didn't drink 2 cases by yourself. You keep a lot of those for trade.
No, you helped me and James helped me.
That's one of those
I'm
bottles
always there
that
to
he
help.
had. He didn't
I'm
know
not-
he had.
No, I know I've had that one. I do.
So is it hard to come by Caribou Crossing?
Yeah,
Yes.
here in Tennessee.
I
right
don't.
now,
I don't
yeah.
see it a lot. No.
I haven't seen it in a long time.
Okay.
And actually, I have the one with the Canadian leaf on top as well as the Caribou ones. I have 2 of them that are remaining, and I haven't opened the one with the maple leaf on it. But I believe it's a store pick too. Tariq's place up in Elixir.
Elixir.
Yeah. Anyway, Godfather, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you.
Glad to see you're back. I love your wealth of knowledge. Tell me what you're drinking and go
Well,
from there.
tonight I'm drinking a store pick of the Old Scout Smooth Ambler, distilled in Indiana. It's an MGP product. It's a 5-year, 3 months. And this one is called Firestarter. I guess it's after the movie.
Got it.
And it's 118.6 proof. And it's very tasty.
Nice, nice.
Isn't Smooth Ambler? I know it's part NGP product, but I thought they were getting it and blending it with their own distillate in West Virginia.
Yes, they are now.
Okay.
Very interesting. I have never tried Oath Scout. And you and I talked about that on the phone together. I'm gonna need to go pick up some because I know I can find it relatively easy, and it has a relatively decent price point in comparison to other expressions and spirits that might be out in the market. Anyhow, so tonight I'm having one of two things. Currently, I'm having the Elijah Craig toasted barrel that came from me from The Godfather. One of the things I picked up on it that I didn't bring up the other night is when you first pour it into that glass and you drink it right away, you smell it and you drink it right away. One of the immediate notes that you get is you can actually taste that new charred wood right away. It's right on the front end. And, it has all the other nice vanillas and even maybe a little bit of chocolate and cinnamon and stuff of that nature, but it definitely has that new charred barrel taste to it right away. And I love it. Maybe a marshmallow. I don't know if you get that, Chuck, when you're having it, but maybe something like might be in
Yes,
that
a marshmallow does sound about right.
Yeah. So it's
good.
definitely it's fantastic. I've had this on 2 shows now. So I wasn't going to drink it tonight because I was planning on doing since I already have another SE4 PR5 Maker's Mark, I was going to drink on this because it's, what is that, about a fourth left, if that. I was gonna have a little bit of that, but I'm kind of hooked on the Elijah Craig toasted barrel right now. So anyway, guys, I want to go to everybody and I want to talk about, and I'll tell you the reason why this made me think of it is they were talking about, now I think the Bourbon Junkie guys are up in Minnesota or Michigan or someplace like that. They're up north, I knew that. And they talk about availability and price point, stuff of that nature. And I don't think I've ever paid the price points they're talking about for. One of the ones they brought up was Basil Hayden, that you just stay away from. It's a horrible one, that this, that, and whatever. And I get it, but I'm going to tell you what, that Basil Hayden tenure, I know it's only 1 more year than when it's normally aged at, and it's cut down to 80 proof. But one of my favorite things about it is that tobacco taste that you get on the back end. And we were just talking about that in the pre-show. That tobacco taste is one of my favorite things that you can pick up from a bourbon. And so I get it with the proof is not there. I'd also say that though I'm not, and we talked about this on the last show, though I wouldn't consider myself a proof whore, I do prefer a little bit more or a little higher proof, or at least around 100 or over 100, as my traditional pour. And the reason why we were talking about it in that aspect is, everybody talks about Stag Senior 19 not being the one you want because it's the lowest proof. If it's not 130 or above, it's junk. And I'm like, you're an idiot. And I really do believe that you're an idiot if you think that, because if you like the way Stag tastes and you like those complexities, unless you're just a drunk that just wants to get their mouth burned out by high proof, then honestly, I really don't care about your opinion at that point. Because you're not going to pick up the notes that I find appetizing or appealing to the drink itself. But anyway, so like I was shocked when they brought that one up, but I wasn't shocked about Oceans. They brought up Jefferson's Oceans is one to stay away from, and I'd have to agree with them. I do not like that one. Their position on it was price point. Price point was not on there. Now I'm not going to give away any more of theirs because those were 2 that I would have picked immediately. I'm gonna go with different ones today. Oh, I'm sorry. One that I would have picked and one that I wouldn't have picked. But let's just go kind of like, I don't care, rapid fire maybe, but you can give a little bit of information about it. Billy, what would you say are the 3 that you say absolutely stay away from?
If I had to pick 3 that I'm gonna stay absolutely away from, and so the first one would be Jack Daniels, the basic. And the reason I say that is only because most people use Jack Daniels for mixing. And I think if you want to get an education and an educated palate, I think there's better places to start. So for me, it would be Jack Daniels, the New Riff. I would stay away from, and the Basil Hayden.
Really?
Yeah, and let me explain it just a little bit. Only because I feel like if I'm gonna get somebody into bourbon, I want to start them a little bit above the basics, just to kind of educate their palate. And for me, being a chef, if I'm gonna tell somebody to stay away from something, I'll give them reasons. So if I'm gonna taste a new bourbon that I've never had, I make sure and clean my palate so I can give it a fair assessment. So I'll try not to have a cigar. I'll try not to eat before. At least that way I can get a fair assessment. It's like when someone tastes my sauce for the first time, I say, don't put it on anything, put a little bit on the spoon and taste it by itself. That way you can give it a fair assessment and then go that way. And if I had to tell somebody 3 that I think you should have, of course, being that it's now it's a little bit harder to get, but I would definitely say like an Eagle Rare. The double oak is something I think you can definitely start with. Is a good way to come out.
That's a show we need to do sometime real quick. And I hate to
Yeah.
interrupt you, but is Woodford versus Basil Hayden, because both of us, we all mentioned that last time as potential ones we would start somebody with because of their proof. But which one gives you better flavor, better tasting notes, things of that nature?
And for me also, if I'm telling somebody about something to either try or stay away from, it's something that's readily available and not too hard on the wallet. So that's what I would basically give. That would be my reasoning. And my third one that I would tell somebody to get, it's a little bit higher up there, is the Belvini Caribbean Cast.
Yeah, I wouldn't pick that one, but that's okay. Melvin, what about you, man?
I'd say probably for the 3 that I would try to stay away from, and I've tried George Dickel. I've actually bought some of their bottles, and usually when I do, I usually have a difficult time finishing them.
I'm with you on that with the bottle and bond. I'm having a hard time with that one. I've had it for several months now.
Yeah, I've had the bottle and bonded, and I've had some of their single barrels. I've basically had some of all of them, but every time I buy one, I think I like it. Usually after a couple of drinks, I have a hard time going back and finish it. So I would say probably, and because they're local to us, but it's just, they're difficult to drink, especially with what's on the market today.
Yeah, I agree. They do have a great price point though. And it may have a lot to do with them being in close proximity to their home place and us. Now, granted, not all of us are from this area, but 4 of us that are on here right now are from this area. So, So what else?
And I'd probably have to agree with Billy on the New Riff. It just, I've tried, it just, there's nothing there. The flavor, to me, the flavors are not there. Just, I've not enjoyed any of the drinks I've had with them. I was trying to think of another one. Nothing else comes to mind that I'd probably just absolutely stay away from. A couple that I like, and I've actually been exposed to the
Davison Reserve.
Davis Fruit. I'm thinking about King Family. Have you?
Oh, Kings, yeah.
I've actually been drinking some of their bourbon. I've drank quite a few of them. I've bought several bottles from them, and just recently I got their rye tonic.
Yeah, I've got the rye. The rye is fantastic.
Man, that is a very, very good pour. And I've actually met the owner. I've talked with him at length some. As a matter of fact, they're probably very much unheard of, but they have some very good blends.
I think a lot of it has to do with their bottling. Their bottling doesn't pop out to you. I agree with you, though. My liquor store guy gave me a bottle of King's Rye, and I was out in the pool one day and had it half the bottle probably in the pool, not in the pool, like I was in the pool, but I was with my little cup and drinking it. And next thing I know, it was on Derby of last year. And then I was in a nap in bed at 4:30 and woke up as the final race was going. So
Yeah,
I'm with you on that.
I've
That
been-
is a good one.
I've become quite a fan of them, and I would say probably one of my top favorites, and I've had several of their bottles, is the Bardstown. So I've had several of their blends, their Discovery series I like, Fusion, and some of their, I had no idea. I toured there yesterday, how many different Kentucky Owl, how many different bottles they're basically blending for.
I didn't know that.
A lot of pretty big names. So they're doing a good thing out
54
there.
different mash bills to date.
Yeah.
54. That's
Yeah.
crazy for a distillery that's only like, what are they, 5 years old?
Yeah, they're 4 years old. Well, 4.5,
Really?
5. Yeah. And they're basically have positioned
Isn't
themselves to
Fred
be
Minnick
one of the
involved in
seventh,
that one?
about the seventh largest distiller in the US.
Mhm.
What was your question, Rob?
Isn't Fred Minnick involved in Bardstown?
I am not sure.
Yeah.
So I'll have to check in on that.
Do you mean the distiller?
No, I mean like Fred Minnick, the guy who's like the bourbon. He's got his own bourbon thing on Amazon Prime. He's like the go-to bourbon guy, apparently.
I think Steve McNally is their Steve McNally is their head distiller.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's cool. I'm keeping a list of all of this because I find it interesting. All right. So Rob, since you were already queued up, what do you for you?
Well, for me, similar to the same reason Jody doesn't like Jack Daniels, Jim Beam Basic White Label. Yeah. Never, ever, not me, ever. The Bardstown Fusion, and I don't know which one I had. I don't know if it was 3 or if it was 4. I couldn't stomach it. After that, I mean, most of what I've got open on my shelves, I really do enjoy. In one way or another, there's some lower end things. The old Overholt bottled in bond rye is really good. It's great for mixed drinks. Is it necessarily great straight up or on the rock? Probably not, but it's great. It's a great mixer. So if you're talking in my 3 that I really enjoy, I'm going to go opposite of Billy and Melvin. I do enjoy a lot of the new riff. I have 5 of the new riff expressions on my shelves at home, and one's a store pick. It's an Ohio OHLQ pick. It's a state barrel pick, which is actually really, really good. Obviously, Weller Antique 107 or Special Reserve, probably right up there together. And the other one that it's harder to find, but Blood Oath Pact. I really like Pact 5 and Pact 6. I only discovered them when Pact 5 came out, so I haven't had any of the ones prior to that. And I know they've got a new one that is coming out this month, so I'm going to start looking for that one. But those are the 3 that I really like.
Marky Mark, what about you, man?
Muted, sir.
Yep, I see. All right, sorry about that. So I'm with my brother Rob, that Jim Beam White.
Yeah.
2 stars for me. 2 stars. Can't do it. My third is from I'd probably have kind of a tie for third, and they're from some small distilleries, but they're somewhat available, so I'm not going to mention them just because they're so small. I don't want to shit on them. Maybe by the time folks really see this, they might get it together. Maybe place a call. They might place a call to MG up to Indiana and do some things. But anyway, favorites, or I don't know if I should say favorites, but I love Rabbit Hole Derringer. I know the price point's a little high, but damn, that's just good stuff.
I agree.
trying to keep it
Right,
decent. Honestly, if you can find it, I know you can't find it these days, that damn Evan Williams green label, like $8.
Yeah,
That's
you
a
said that
damn
last
good
time,
stuff
yeah.
for.
I'll keep an eye out next time.
And
Which one did you say?
In a while.
Evan Williams
It's a
green
Evan-
label.
The green label.
apparently it's no longer being made. So if you find it, grab it. I got about 6 bottles sitting around, so I just can't get to all of them right now. But if I give something that's available, it's double oak. You gotta like oak flavor if you want this double oak though. It's only 90 proof, but damn that wood, it punches you. It'll punch you in your palate. If you're not,
I love
you
every
don't want
bit
that
of it,
oak.
man. Yeah, the smokiness.
Yeah.
I'm not much of a smoker, but I love a smoky drink for sure.
And honestly, I would say any Four Roses. Four Roses is still probably my favorite distillery. I don't care if it's the yellow label, which checks in at what, like I think it's 85.
85, 86.
And I mean, on up Four Roses, I love them all. So. Now I know some don't like the high ride, but when I'm introducing somebody, I'm almost always gonna go Roses Yellow. That's what I have in the canter. They don't know what it is. It's Pappy's or Weller. No, it's Four Roses Yellow label. I paid $21 for it. You're gonna sip and love it. Damn it.
I dig. Chuck.
Yeah, I'm going to go with, as far as 3 that I don't recommend. Number 1 is Stillhouse, and I'm sure
Yeah.
Rob knows about Stillhouse.
You mean that fancy can they put it in?
can.
Yes, it looks like a gas can.
Yeah.
I've seen
That's my first choice.
So I have to mark that one off my list. It was on there too.
My second choice would be Garrison Brothers. Anything Garrison
I
Brothers.
agree. 1,000% agree.
I said that,
And that's because of the taste, and the price point is way over the top for what it is.
And they're only producing in 375s, right?
No, I've got
No, they got.
No, I got 750.
I got a 750 at home, but it's
Yeah,
I think I had it once with you. That's the only time I've had it.
I've only seen it in 375s in PA, and they were $49.99 for a 375. I'm like,
wow.
You can get
no,
this
not doing it.
about $80 locally here. I think previously it was only available in Texas, but you can get it for $80 here. It's not worth $80.
Now, if one of my friends sent me that, I realized that we don't have a very strong friendship anymore.
At this point, sure.
So as far as my third choice, well, go ahead, Jody.
No, I was just going to say, I was
okay.
Going back to you. I was just going to get you back on point.
My third choice would be Hudson Baby Bourbon. That's in New York.
Forgot about that.
Solid pick.
It's around $52 to $54, and it's not even close to being worth $22.
Yeah.
It's so young.
And I've had
It
it.
is.
So yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
They did change the label and the wax and everything on it, but it's still terrible.
You know, what's funny is there's people that like that too. What's that? I'm sorry, what?
I had some sales rep trying to sell me on it 2 years ago. I was sitting at a bar and they were giving it out for samples.
Oh, they got me on that. They sold it on me one time.
I'm like, yeah. I'm like, dude, that's awful. He's like, what do you mean it's awful? I mean, dude, it's terrible. It tastes like fire. It's hot. I don't get much flavor out of it at all.
It just tastes like corn. Like that's the only note I really picked up off of it. It's just straight corn whiskey, and they call it baby bourbon, which is nonsense. And not to get myself in trouble, I got it as a gift a while ago because it shares a family name with my girlfriend, and so she got it because it had the same name. I was like, "Oh yeah, honey, it's great."
You're gonna have it with me? No.
Feel like I'm saving it for a special occasion.
Special occasion.
Never worry.
Yeah, I'll have it. I'll pour it as soon as you pass away, and you'll pour it straight down the drain.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Or on someone's grave. But anyhow, cool. I like that. Would you like to give us your top 3?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
What I'd like to start with is Old Carter, American batch number 4. That is fantastic. But then again, a lot of the Old Carter products are excellent. Number 2 would be Eagle Rare.
Yeah. Agree.
Number 3, I'm going to say Heaven Hill Bottled in Bond 7-year.
Yeah, that's a good pick. That's a real good pick. I had some of that last night while I was watching. Well, I was getting ready for bed and I had a headache.
Mm.
And why I thought that would help, and it did. Who knows? But anyway, cool. I dig it. I dig that picks. I dig those picks is what I should say. White Mark.
All right. Well, these are probably going to feel like newbies, but I'm going to agree with somebody else said George Dickel, anything. My wife she wanted to surprise us when we moved into our house here in Tennessee. And so she went to the liquor store. I don't know which liquor store she went to, but the guy steered her towards a George Dickel or whatever. She's like, I would like a really good bourbon. And she brought this thing home and I was like, I've never had it. I tried it and straight gasoline. So yeah, we're out. And then I would say any flavored bourbon, if we're talking about trying to steer people away from bourbons. If you have to have something that gets you over the sweet spot thing, the maple Knob Creek is probably the only one that would be like acceptable in my book. But like Jim Beam Apple, Fireball, Crown, Vanilla, you got waffles in a bottle. Forget it. Don't do it. Just don't, and steer away from it. Yeah, there's that's about it. I feel like I'm still kind of new to the bourbon game compared to most of you guys, but in my experience, so I said these are the ones you leave on the shelf. The next one is the ones you grab for yourself. So I'm in full agreement with the double oaked that was probably the first bourbon that I ever had was a Woodford. I was on a cruise. My wife and I, when we lived in Florida for 25 years, we took a lot of cruises. I tried bourbon for the first time. Woodford was what they had. I was hooked. It was it was amazing. So I would say any Woodford in general. I visited the distillery this weekend and I grabbed one of everything they had on the shelf. So
Nice.
I got the Derby 147, the Derby 146. I got their malt bottle, and then one other one. I can't remember which one it is. And then another one that's new to me since we moved to Tennessee is the first one I tried since we moved here, and it's from Big Machine Distillery. It's Clayton James.
I've heard of that.
Much different flavor profile than you would find in most Tennessee bourbons. It really, really surprised me. It's probably the thing that made me go, oh, I want to buy that and I want to have that. But they had a special on their single barrel when I visited the distillery. I tried it at the distillery, and their single barrel was pretty amazing. Their off the shelf normal bottles, $39 or whatever. It's a daily sipper for me, but their single barrel, if you ever get a chance to grab one of those, the one that I had was barrel 238. It was pretty great. And then Jody introduced me to a few new ones that I've never had before. And my favorite of those ones is, some of you guys have already said Eagle Rare and some others, but Rock Hill is up there for me in those grab for yourself categories.
Yeah,
I did try a JW Dant.
What'd you think of that?
1966.
Wow. How was it? You gotta give us a little more than a pause, like you're having a stroke.
Yeah. So it was a $50 pour. It was just a tasting, like a 4-ounce tasting pour. And this was at Bardstown. I was there Saturday afternoon. And so off the front, I mean, it was higher in proof. So you got the heat right away, but it was this like the sweetest heat. Lot of maple sugar. A lot of cinnamon and nutmeg on the back end. The finish was forever. It was so long that I decided I'm taking the Glencairn glass that it came in and I'm not washing it. So it's still on the shelf. And if I put it up to my nose, I can still nose everything.
That brings you right back.
It was amazing.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's awesome. I dig it. So right off the top, the three I came up with immediately were Redemption, Davidson Reserved, and then Jack Daniels / Jefferson's Reserves, except for the Caribbean cast or the Caribbean rum one. That is fantastic. And with Jefferson's price point, I don't feel the price point meets the proof, meets the age, and I feel like there's
Are you
a
talking
lot
about
of
the ocean?
talking about all of them.
Okay.
Like I don't feel that.
Mhm.
I don't feel that it's worth $49, to be honest with you, for regular Jefferson Reserve. That's just my opinion. There's not enough interesting characteristics to it. Like I can buy a bottle of Woodford and feel like I have much more I guess notes that are sustainable that I can talk about with, or I can expound on.
Yeah.
Jack Daniels, you guys know my point on that. I find all of it to be horrible, with the exception of Sinatra. But like I pointed out, at least
Sinatra is vastly different. It smells the same, but that's it.
it does smell. And see, that's part
Nose
of
is
the
the
reason
same.
why.
Sorry.
That's the reason why it's
Connoisseur.
further down on the list, is because Sinatra does nose exactly like any of the Jack Daniels selections, in my opinion. Davison's is just way too young, and I have a bottle that I couldn't. I could probably burn the entire village down, but probably couldn't find 4 people that would try to drink it with me. All right. And Redemption, I still got it's still sealed. I will never open that bottle because I know what it tastes like. I was there the day we got it, and it was horrible. But I had to get into the lottery, and it just was horrible. It really was. But now I have some off the wall ones that I want to add to it to expound on it. These are also ones based on price point that one of them is going to probably kill you guys. Then I'm going to say current price point for Blanton's isn't worth it. It should be $50.
Yeah.
And if it's anything above $50, I'm in a different luxury. I have plenty of bottles, so I can probably say that. But do I think it's worth it for a 93 proof to pay 89? Or this past week I said it for
105.
105. Yeah. No, absolutely not.
I can't do it.
Michter's. I absolutely hate Michter's. Loathe it. All right. The only thing I like about Michter's is Bumburger.
Billy has left the chat.
Yeah, I'm out.
I was about to say, he's always drinking Michter's. It's been a long time since I've had it.
No more barbecue
I
sauce
like
for you.
you come back 1 year.
Yeah. 1 year.
No sauce for you.
No sauce for you. Yeah, I was getting ready to say the same thing. So yeah, Michter's, I don't like any of their expressions. I would rather not drink. If somebody poured me one of those, I'd be like, hey, it's cool. So you're drinking a double. Got it. I can't even be nice to you. I don't want to, I also had Garrison Brothers, and I did have Hudson's Bay, but I couldn't remember it was a baby bourbon.
Hudson Baby Bourbon. They shouldn't call it bourbon at all. They really
I remember it being that tiny ass.
I don't even know if
bottle.
the mash bill is
Yeah.
appropriate for calling it bourbon, but whatever.
But those and then
Like Joseph Magnus.
oh, I
you
forgot about
that
Joseph.
one.
I forgot that one. Yeah, anybody looking for a bottle of Joseph Magnus, just hook me up. I will send it. It's been open, but it's only been the neck pour taken out of it. I'll put some tape on it, freaking put it in a container for you and send it to you.
Mario,
Guys, I will tell you, Jody's tried to give me that bottle like 100 times.
I'm like, hey, can I send this to you? He's like, you don't like it. I'm like, you damn right I don't like it. It sucks. And I see people trading for it on the secondary market, and I'm like, you guys are idiots. Have y'all ever tried it? I mean, don't get me wrong. Awesome bottle, awesome looking bottle. All right, it's just like kind of like Blanton's. They know how to market, but man, that's horrible stuff. Like it just if it's supposed to be close to a cognac and a cigar or whatever the hell, oh my god, then I don't want to smoke or drink cognac. Matter of fact, I had a chance to get some high dollar cognac finished, something I've never seen before, bourbon recently. I'll put that in the chat because I can probably get it for you guys if y'all want it. But anyway, I couldn't pull the trigger on it for myself because it said cognac on it. I was like, nope, not going through that experience again. But anyway, yeah, so that one is definitely up there. As for my favorite, and I was going to say is pick up on what Mark said was flavored bourbons. I've only had one that I've ever liked, and that's because you guys know I'm a little bit partial to cherry. The Good Times Cherry. Our buddy, Corey provided me with some samples of the Good Times Cherry. Oh my God, that's some good stuff right there. Excuse me, probably the COVID cough. But anyway, it's I've been vaccinated twice, but I will tell you guys, I had a bad experience coming out of the second one.
Had a bad
Not the only one.
Pregnant. You might be pregnant though.
Or going through menopause. But anyway,
A little bit.
it could be all of that. Could be all of the above.
A little bit.
The worst part of that would be getting your taste buds jacked up.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking the worst part of menopause would be having the JJ, but we'll go with whatever you want to. But anyway, but no, flavored bourbon, man, I don't understand that. I don't understand that the secondary market on that. Like, he gave me some a sample of Good Times honey, and was it good? Yeah, but I've seen it on the secondary what it goes for, and I'm like going, there's no way I would ever pay that. Now the Good Times Cherry, I don't know that I would pay secondary pricing for it, but I would definitely pay retail for it. It's really good. But like Mark said, anything with vanilla in it, I never understood that, the Belle Meade vanilla and Belle Meade, honey and all that. I'm like, why are you flavoring it? I don't understand that concept. So that's something that's a little bit foreign to me, and maybe I'm just ignorant to it. That could be a possibility as well. However, my top three, though I just slammed Blanton's on price point, Straight from the Barrel is fantastic. It's one of the best bourbons you'll ever put your mouth on. It is freaking good. All right. So if you get a chance to get Straight from the Barrel, David, you've had it in my house. It's good. It's really, really, really good. I also, as we've discussed, I actually prefer Stag, and I like probably, it's a tough one. 2020 was the best Stag I've ever had, but 19 was really, really good too. So it's a toss up, but I like the bite more in the 2020, but I already know what I'm looking for tasting notes, and they were similar. So that's the reason why I would say either one. And then if I had to pick one for price point, it's always going to be Eagle Rare if it's available. There is no better perfect bourbon, in my opinion, than Eagle Rare's. Aged perfectly, has a nice taste, has all the common things that we would all pick up on, but it also has enough interesting notes or complexities that I do believe that we'd all find something different in. Those would probably be my three tops.
I kind of got a statement and a question for everybody. Nobody mentioned the pot still, will it? Nobody.
It's too easy.
You know what?
It's true, but it's too easy. I didn't give mine, by the
fruit.
way. I didn't give mine.
And my question for everybody.
Oh, you didn't give yours.
A lot of people.
I didn't. Yeah.
I apologize.
It's
Price
okay.
point. What is a price point for you when you go into a store that you look at it and you just grab it? What number that you can say, okay, if it's $35, I'm not going to even think about it. I'm just going to get it. Whether it's something new, something you like, and where does price start to? Let me think about this a little bit.
Can I answer? Can I answer first and also give? I won't even go through the full thing, but like one or two that I would absolutely wave people off of. For me, the price point is $40. If it's under $40, I will look at a bottle and take a chance on it. Beyond that, I want to know a little bit more. And if it's more than $50, I'm going to start looking for recommendations, honestly, from you guys, because y'all are the experts. And I defer often to y'all's expertise. But one thing I would wave people away from, honestly, and this may be contentious, is the old Granddad 114. The people are like, oh yeah, it's solid, this and that at the proof, this and that. If I'm recommending that to someone, because it's, you can get to that proof level at a much lower price point than you can find other bourbons at. But like, I have it. I keep passing up on it every time I open up my little cabinet in there. I'm like, I could do that, but like, if I have more than 2 of those, I'm gonna have a headache. Like, I don't want it, you know. And I have higher proof stuff in there that won't give me the headache.
Where are you seeing the price at for that?
I can't remember. It was like super low. It was like
$29, I think. something
yeah,
like
like
that.
it was
Yeah.
it was sub 30. Yeah, it was like
Yeah,
like
oh, yeah,
$5
sure.
bucks,
Even like
$29.99.
old tub.
something like that. Yeah, I haven't had Old Tub yet.
Old
and
Tub is
wanna-
good.
Yeah.
And I do
It
want
is
to
good.
try.
I like
it.
Old
It's
Tub.
really good, dude. It's
But like,
$19.
if I'm thinking what I'm going to tell people not to buy, if you're looking at a cheap bourbon that's super high proof, it's like, it's true. It doesn't taste like gasoline. It's not awful. It gets you to that proof level without being bad. But are you going to like it?
Yeah.
Or are you just going to like try to convince yourself you're liking it for the money, for the proof? I would say don't do that. Try and find something that's going to that your palate's going to appreciate. It's going to broaden your horizons a little bit more than just bang for your buck kind of thing. So I would tell people to stay away from that. Honestly, another one I would tell
No.
people to stay away from is, and Marky, you're gonna disagree with me on this, is Larceny. Like I've had it, it's been a number of years since I've had it, but like it's like
A lot of
is it-
people don't like Arsenal. Yeah.
is it Larceny or is it Basil Hayden that you really don't like? For me, Larceny was the one that I liked less. If I was trying to recommend people to get into bourbons, to get into drinking whiskey, I would steer people towards Basil Hayden all day long over Larceny because I've had it. The bottle looks cool, but like, man, I wasn't that impressed with what I was drinking.
Yeah.
Those are kind of the big two I would
that-
tell people to stay away from. And if I could divert just briefly into Scotch for like half a second, don't drink the Johnny Walker Red Label. You like the smoky flavor, fine, but like the Red Label, I bought like the 1.75 liters before. Like, yeah, I'm gonna drink a lot of Scotch for. Don't do that shit, guys. Like, it's really not good.
But the
There's
double
better
black
Scotch
is
out.
nice though.
The double black is nice, and I do like. And Billy, you and I, we both enjoy our scotches, but just Red Label ain't it. So stay away, even if it is cheap.
I agree with that.
You got to be willing to spend a little bit of
I used to-
money if you want a good scotch.
What would you
used
do
to
for
steal-
Which is not really
I
true.
Still
for
have it
you.
from my dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
tell
I used
me
to steal
guys-
Johnny Black, Johnny Red from my dad.
So tell me,
That
guys,
was probably
what's
my first little sneak drink.
Yeah. well, yeah.
So for you, Chuck, what's a price point that you look at and you say, you know what, I'm just gonna go for it? What's that number for you?
Is this something you've never tried before?
It doesn't matter if it's
Sight
something
unseen.
you never tried or something that, you know, just something you happen to like. You know, what's just a number? Like for me, I would say anything 45 and under, I'm willing to give it a shot.
So that varies though, because there are certain things that I'm gonna purchase that I know are at $79 all day long every day, and they're actually at MSRP. Then I'm gonna, if I
Right.
see it, I'm gonna buy it. You know?
Right. So for something that you haven't tried, what is
No,
a
that's-
number where you say, let me do a little bit more research or let me think about it?
Yeah, you're talking about blind buys.
50.
Yeah. Well, let me go to Chuck first since I asked him. What's your number?
Okay.
Chuck?
I'm going to say around $60.
Okay.
Anything more, then I'm going to revert to you as the group or, others out there.
Okay. Rob, what about you? What's your number?
45. I mean, there are very few bottles that I paid that $100 mark for. The Blood Oath Pack 6, Pack 5s. And I picked up one of the Knob Creek 15. I think it was 124. Other than that, anything I'm drinking is $60 or under. But I'm looking at that. If I'm at that 45 mark, I'll give it a go. I really did enjoy it. I found TX bourbon. There's TX whiskey and TX bourbon, both out of Texas.
Oh, yeah.
They are delicious, and they're sub 45.
Nice.
I've
Okay.
had TX before. That's good stuff.
All right. Marky Mark, talk to me, brother. Tell me what's up.
I would say probably 45. Any more than 45, if I'm not familiar, I'll hit you guys. All right. Any intel, you guys have seen it. Any intel, but I'd say 45. There's a
But you've
There's a
done none of
couple
that when you
where-
sent the samples out. I'm just saying.
Wow.
I got a funny story about those samples too. And
Yeah.
I'll talk to you about.
Hey, hold on. We might have them more, by the way, but yeah, we'll talk more about that.
All right, White Mark, since that name is sticking with you, that's gonna be.
Hey,
your
that's my brother right there.
We'll get him a
Nice, my
shirt.
brother.
We'll get him a
That's my
shirt.
Brother, Kenny.
That's what I'm talking about.
We'll give him a shirt that says white mark on it.
Wait, Mark, I'll get one for next time. Big crayons and stuff. Have my kids make it. It'll be
That's
great.
There you
my
go.
brother right there. Nice.
This
Kenny.
is my dad, White Mark. It's appropriate.
And I'm gonna drink to that.
Four of my kids are black, so it'll be
There you
a
go.
fun. It'll be a fun project.
Oh, Lord.
I would say $50 is my number. As I found several good bourbons that are in that $49 range, whatever, from ye local liquor store. But I'll take, man, you go to Buffalo Trace, you can pick up a bottle of Weller Special Reserve for $30, but you're only allowed to buy one every 3 months. They
Okay.
scan your license, all that kind of stuff. For $30 a bottle, it's something it feels like it's that exclusive. That's a great pour. I mean, I've enjoyed it every single time, but $30 a bottle for that kind of makes everybody else feel pretentious. But yeah, it's about $50 for me, probably. It'd be hard to get me to spend more than that unless somebody told me, hey, this is really special. You need to grab that if you find it.
Okay. Well, what about you, brother? Tell us.
Oh, I kind of have my go-to and that I'm familiar with, and I typically stay around the $40 to $50 range. But if you're going to get me out of my little comfort zone, you're going to have to give me a taste. Or I got to get some strong input from somebody. And I do ask around in the bourbon community what everybody's drinking.
Mm.
But like if you go to your local store and they want to, a lot of times they'll try to sell you something. I'm going to have to taste before. If I can go over $40, you're going to have to give me something to taste, because what I don't want to do is fill my cabinet up with drinks that I've got good stuff that's under $40. So I don't want to fill my cabinet up with things that are over $50, $60 that when I go to the cabinet and open it up and look at it, that I know I'm not going to grab that bottle. I don't want that in my cabinet. So, but I do have some stuff that I paid over $100 for that's exceptional. I use it for special occasions. So.
Right. And, and the reason that made me ask that is because it seems like we all have a very extensive palette and knowledge of what we like and what we don't like. And we're all kind of in the same neighborhood. But, it's just that thing where, and not that it's all the way about money, and especially with this group because we have such a reach. But, it's funny to see that we do have a number despite the fact that we like very good stuff. I mean, for me, I would.
But you didn't ask me.
Well, all right, Commissioner, let's hear it.
Well, I mean, it's happened to me. I've David's been the recipient of it. I've spent $129 on a whim. I mean,
Kentucky Par.
yeah.
Oh,
That's horrible stuff. But
It's not horrible stuff. It's
not worth
less than
$129.
half of what they charge. Yes, that's what it is. It's it sits in there with some of the the $40 bourbons. Like that's where it is, but they're charging way too much.
and their marketing looks horrible too. But
Yeah, the bottle.
I'd look at it differently. And then I want to ask a question real quick, one answer question from all of us. I look at it a little bit differently. Prior to this group, I don't know that my reach was quite as far. So a lot of times I would purchase stuff to stay in good with my my collection of liquor store guys. So a lot of times I let them have a victory, and just so we could I can continue to build that relationship and move on and be able to get the things like I do, like GTS and stuff like that when it comes out to BTACs. So so that's part of it. You have to spend a little bit to get that. Now, I will tell you that since we started this group, I go out to buy stuff, but when I go out to buy stuff, it's generally to buy stuff for you guys. Like, I mean, it really is. And then we package it up as olive oil and send it on its way. All right.
I love olive oil.
Yeah. Yeah.
That last 5 seconds will be covered by a blip.
Yeah.
something,
I'm just-
olive oil.
This show was sponsored by olive oil.
This is the olive oil
might not have tell you about
rebellion
Brent, but if
Barcast.
But if I'm being serious, I mean, it really is that way. I mean, and I wouldn't say that we're manipulating the system by any means. We're paying the same price, or the price it's supposed to be at a different place, and then paying the shipping for it to be sent this way, unless we work out a trade. And then when we work out a trade, it's for something that somebody can't get in their home state. We're getting it, and it's a 1-for-1 trade or 1-for-2 trade or whatever. And we package it up and we send it that way. Now, so I would tell you that since this group, I've done less of that. If I go to the liquor store, it's generally I'm looking for something for you guys. That's really, honest to God, what it is. Like the last time I bought Blanton's, I was buying Billy a bottle. Currently in search for another 12, Weller 12, just so I can send it to the Godfather. That's kind of what we do as a group. We take care of each other. And so, it's just like, what was it? 2 months ago, I was down to a singular bottle of Eagle Rare, and I was having a hard time finding it. I've got 7 bottles now.
Dang.
Right. So you're like,
brother out. That's all I'm saying, Jody.
Daddy Warbucks.
when you were over at my house, did you not have plenty of drinks?
I had more than enough, which is why you get the bottle.
You're always a generous host.
I am. I always. But I do want to ask one final question for everybody before we call it a night on the live show. Because we're talking about bottles that you would pick. Something that you tried this year that you're like, holy hell, that turned you back around to them. And so that's where I want to start with. So Billy, something you tried this year for the first time, or were reintroduced to it, and you're like, wow.
Hands down.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. For
I
sure.
mean, I'm trying to ration it out.
I can tell you've only had them the
It
last
looks
four
like, you look like
shows.
you look like you put some hurt on that bottle, man.
I mean, it's one of those things that
Let me know when you know them. I'll send it to you.
I don't know. I find it to be a very seductive bottle. I mean, of course, the contents. So that was something that was really, really
You like
nice.
its hips, don't you?
Yeah. But that would be the one for me. But again, another benefit of being in this group and being a part of it is all the new and interesting stuff. I got from the Godfather himself, I got a bottle of Old Ezra 7. And it's like, man, and again, like you, Jody, if I'm going to the store, I'm usually looking for other stuff for other people, only because I know if I want something, I can reach out in the chat or reach out to one of you guys and I can find it. So something that I think that's absolutely fabulous. We're not shopping for ourselves anymore. We're shopping for each other.
Yeah, I agree with you. White Mark.
I love it.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
You failed this exam. We'll come back to you. Melvin.
One thing we'll come back to. One thing you won't.
No,
leave.
something you were introduced to this year that for the first time that you that either you are sold on it forever or it'll bring you back to it.
I would say in the same conversation before, the grab, the stuff I'll always come back to or that I really love. The Rock Hill, I'd never heard of that before, but that was one of the most interesting complex pours that I've had in a while. I think I even had that the same night that you gave me a pour of Eagle Rare.
And Stag.
That's right. I think the next time I came over, I asked for some of that Rock Hill.
You did.
Yeah. So
Good stuff, man.
that's a great pour. Yep.
Melvin.
Oddly enough, I really enjoy specialty type small drinks. Recently, I had some peg leg porker. I don't know if you guys.
I got some of that downstairs. Yeah.
I'm telling you, for me, that was as a matter of fact, it was enough. I had a friend that shared some of that pour with me, and it was enough. It was good enough that I went out and tried to find. They had a 10-year bourbon on that Peg Leg Porker, and that's basically a local, really not even a distributor. Basically, they're just it's a place in downtown Nashville that basically serves barbecue, and Billy might enjoy that. But what they do is they basically marketed their name with the bourbon, and I think it's a it's a 10-year bourbon. But once I had it, I pretty much determined I had to have a bottle of it. It was it did enough to where I tried to go out and find a bottle of that 10-year bourbon. So
I have the
Peg Leg Porker.
12-year pour, and it's pretty good. I can see where you definitely has a local pour, but I would still defer to Leaper's Fork as my number one state of Tennessee.
So let me ask you this: have you had the new bourbon that they've just released their own, or would you do the Colonel Hunters?
No. We Bottle and Bond is what I love. I have the Colonel Hunter as well, but and it's interesting and it's good. It doesn't taste like a new whiskey by any means. It has some very interesting notes. I wouldn't call it a daily sipper, but I would definitely find it, like, for the price point, I find it to be something exceptional to drink. And it's good. I mean, Mark has tried it as well. Marky Mark has. So he could probably tell you what he thinks of it, but I personally find the Colonel Hunter to be pretty good.
Okay. They've stopped carrying that Colonel Hunter. They have their own. They've released their own. Yeah, they actually. I don't think you can get the Colonel Hunter anymore. Basically, they have their own release now from their own still.
Yeah, the Bottle and Bond. That's the one that came from. All right, so David, what about you?
For me, the biggest eye opener was kind of a sleeper. Probably it was the Riverset Rye. I had it on here like a few shows back, and it was basically a $30 rye whiskey out of Memphis. Same people make Blue Note.
Blue Note's good.
Yeah, I like Blue Note quite a bit. But like I've kind of written off rye whiskey for a while because just too many not necessarily bad but underwhelming experiences. And I was like, well, this is really damn fine and it's cheap. Like this makes me want to kind of explore rye whiskeys more. So for me, that was the biggest eye opener, I would say.
Nice. Rob.
Baker's Mark.
I knew you were going to say that because I'm going to have to agree with you there.
I mean, I had a friend years ago who was always into regular Maker's Mark, and it wasn't my thing. But we were seeing a lot with their private selection that was coming out in 2020. I went out and found the SA4 PR5. I had a sip, and I'm like, oh, I'm sold. And I found all the OHLQ selections, the Virginia ABC selection I got. Just a fantastic reintroduction into when we've talked about. It was probably the whiskey of 2020.
Oh, I totally agree with you on that being the whiskey of 2020. Since you said the same thing I was going to say, and actually so did Billy. I had two. Leaper's Fork, I'll be honest with you, I was a little bit hesitant to try it because it was from Tennessee, and I loathe just about everything from Tennessee when it comes to their bourbon production. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a limestone. I don't know what it is. I just don't like the vast majority of their stuff. I do like the Bell Mead.
History.
Yeah, I do like the Bell Mead, and I do like and I love. I've said it 1,000 times. Best bourbon in Tennessee is Leaper's Fork Bottle and Bond. Period, hands down. But because of 2020 and that SC4 PR5, when they came out with that release specifically, I used to turn away to Maker's Mark and was like, yeah, that's pretty. They put some wax on it. Awesome. I don't know what to say about that. It's great. Whatever. But anyway, I found it to be fantastic. And I was like, wow, that's really good. It's a perfect proof too. Like typically it's around 111, 110, 110.05 or 110.08. Sorry. that's a perfect heat with enough bite, but all the complexities, interesting notes that you want to discuss. And I would have to absolutely agree with you, Rob. They won 2020. Maker's Mark did. Let me see. Did we go to Marky Mark?
Not yet. So of course, if I'm gonna cheat like my brothers did, I gotta go Maker's Mark. You know what's funny? Before I moved out here, because I've been drinking bourbon for a while. If you ask anybody in DC, they'll all tell you Knob Creek. Which I was like, look, this is not a starter bourbon, but they want to taste it, and they taste it, it burns the hell out of their chest. And but 20 Maker's Mark just killed it. I before I left here, I actually, you know, and I know this sounds bad being a Maker's Mark ambassador, but everybody would give me a bottle of Maker's Mark for Christmas. When I was working at the Pentagon, hey, here's a bottle of Maker's Mark. You like bourbon? Oh, gee, thanks. Yeah, whatever. But I'll tell you one that I do like. I gotta see if I get my hands on it again. As you know, I've had a major life change recently. Virgil Cane Riptuck out of Georgia. That damn Virgil Cane Riptuck is pretty damn good. I can't get it now. I have a bottle in Georgia. I don't know if I can get access to it, so it may have to wait till I get back to Georgia to get it.
Are you banned from the entire state?
You guys know what? No. I don't know when I'm gonna be able to get back right now. So, but yeah, that damn Virgil Cane Riptuck. I had Virgil Cane years ago, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" But the Riptuck is actually really good, and they have a ginger that I'm not a fan of flavor bourbons, but this ginger that they have, it's not terrible. And I know that doesn't sound much coming from me, but I don't like flavored bourbons, but that Virgil Cane ginger is actually not bad. But yeah.
All right.
Maker's Mark, Virgil Cane Riptuck. If you get
David.
it, taste it.
All right, David.
We already went to me.
Okay.
Like
The Godfather.
I'm going to go with two. There's Leaper's Fork, the bottled in bond. That's fantastic.
And you're all the way
And
up
then,
there
of
in
course,
Maryland.
I'm
You
sorry.
guys
I
convi-
said you're all the way up there in Maryland too.
Yes,
They
sir.
don't- Wonder how
you
you got
guys have
that
convinced
hog.
me. You guys have convinced me to go buy a bottle.
So this is, Melvin,
Best
this is
one.
exactly what happened to me. I listened, we did an episode, it was a little while ago. Jody must have said like 8 times, this is the best like Tennessee whiskey he's ever had. And he's like,
Yeah.
hey guys, I don't know if you know this, but this is the best Tennessee whiskey there is. He's like,
You know, when you start
it was
slurring,
it was the most hilarious episode ever. But by the end of it, I was like,
Yeah,
I have to buy this bottle now.
You
Like,
got to go get
I
one,
can't not
right?
get it. And I did get it. And then I think, and I had it once at his house. And then right before my surgery, I drank like 3/4 of the bottle. Like I was like basically screw it. I really want to live it up, and I don't regret a bit of it. It's
And
really,
listen, I
it's
think-
really good stuff, man. It's
Was
really
Jody,
good.
that
was
was-
Jody wrong or right?
I think that was
Right.
that was the night Jody caught his DUI at the corner of living room and kitchen, huh?
yes,
All right,
yes.
back to the Godfather again. So,
sorry.
So my number 2 choice would be the Proof and Woods presidential, as
I was
well
gonna
as the
say that.
Justice.
I was going to say the presidential as well, because I found it to be White Mark. You had that with me. That was a very interesting, complex bourbon that was
Just open
had
it.
some really great notes to it. I mean, other than trying to open the damn thing, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
Shit.
No,
You-
this-
you-
you're trying to
It's great
open
if you
it.
can open the bottle.
It
Yeah.
did take a little bit.
Yeah. Chuck, you got anything else you want to add to that?
Yeah, the Proof and Wood, the Justice is the 16-year,
Mm.
and the presidential is the 4,
Mhm.
and then there's an 8-year as well. But the 4-year and the Justice,
And,
very good.
I have to find
Little
that
background
Justice.
on that. The gentleman that started that company, Proof and Wood Ventures, he got into bourbon at first, failed miserably, then jumped right into bourbon again with Redemption,
You know how I feel
created
about
that company, sold it, and then started Proof and Wood. And here we are now.
Go.
I dig it. I dig it. Well, I can tell you that this was a very educational show. So we're going in the live show, but I won't stay around for a long time for the after show, because I'm not going to make a habit of that. We've been doing after shows that last like an hour and a half. So that's a little ridiculous. All right. So anyway,
Yeah, I'm trying to get my tolerance back.
you can stick around. I'll give you controls. Just let me know when you're done so I can do the recording. Anyhow, so guys, always fun. I always love having all of you on here. Thank you for working with my schedule with the COVID relief over here, where I was having some complications with the second vaccination. But I do encourage everybody out there to get the shot and to wear a mask and to practice all the safety protocols and things of that nature.
Save
Just
6.
But I will tell you this, if you don't, we'll just keep doing this forever because that's how this started. So guys, with all of that being said, Miles' favorite term, cheers. Y'all have a good night.
Gentlemen, be good to yourselves.
Guys.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers.